Welcome to Beyond Success, where we uncover the deep truth of becoming the greatest. Today, I am with.
My name is Jairus Casanova. I was born in Florida, United States, but I was raised in Mexico. So part of my life, or all of my life, I've been in Mexico, and I just moved to Florida a few years ago. So here I am, starting a new life for me.
Jairus, you are here on Beyond Success. What does make you successful? What are you doing?
Well, I mean, it's like I said, I'm barely, starting a new journey on what I'm doing. What I'm doing is, how like the Forex market. I really like the Forex market. I'm really focused on it right now. I'm actually, already quit my job. I have like very little experience, but I don't know. I mean, God gave me this talent to, see the markets in a different way. And for some reason, I'm profitable, and God gifted me with this psychology and this, understanding things. So it's like a new journey. I quit my job 2 weeks ago, and 2 weeks ago, I turned 20 years old. I came to Florida when I was 18. I came here by myself. I started working. I had my apartment and everything, and from there, I just building, my life. I was building my life, and everything is going great. Thank God is everything is going great.
Nice, bro. That's great to hear. Of course, you are trading. How long have you been trading?
I've been trading for about, let's say 8 months max, 8 months. I started August 2021.
8 months, bro.
Yeah, 8 months. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's just a gift God gave me. It's a blessing, and I have to put in the work. Put in the work.
Bro, there's like people trading for 8 years, they're not even profitable yet.
I know. That's what, like, it changed my whole perspective, everything, and it just motivates me. It motivates me having things like that in mind, and it's crazy.
But that's crazy. How you get into it? How you discovered the market, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's I don't know. I compare like the markets with my life. Like, at the beginning it's hard, but the only way is through. So I'm getting there, I mean, I get there. I went through, and I still believe I'm going through, because I mean, the learning curve is like limitless. So that's what I think.
Okay, so you discovered it through YouTube or like through the internet or you had relatives trading?
Yeah. So I always had since I was little. Sorry if you see, if you hear noise in the background. There's kids. I'm in one of my aunt's house, and well, back where I was, since I was little, I always have curiosity about, the markets. Whenever I see like a documentary about, the stock market or something, I always had in mind, like, wow, I mean, it would be nice if I, tried to predict the markets or something. And that's when, it grew on me. Then last year I came with this video with by Swaggy, um, the Swaggy Academy. Then I was like, oh, you know what? Let me see what this video is about. Then he's the one who really introduced me like into Forex, and like really focused on the Forex, like, because like the way he explains things is just made everything easier for me, everything easier, and he helped me develop talent, and to understand it way better, like as a mentor. And I mean, it's I don't know, it's like God puts you, people in certain, or you puts you in certain moments that you don't even realize, like it is crazy. But yeah, that's how I started. That's how I started, from a YouTube video by Swaggy. So that's how I really started, really focusing on what I'm doing right now.
Like a YouTube video led you to quit your job, right? Couple months later. Do you mind me asking what you were working? What was your job? What was your job before you? was trading?
I did a lot of things in the industry of construction, you know, because like for example, I used to do framing, install, countertops, paint, a lot of things, a little of everything, a little of everything. So, but most of it is the industry of construction in homes.
Bro, that's interesting. Like
Yeah.
you came from a construction worker to a like trader, making you quit your job.
Then I really like, like I really, time is money. So, when I see that, my job is taking time from me and I would just quit and thank whoever gave me the job and just quit and focus really on the markets. And that's what I'm doing right now.
Bro, always when I hear people like who became like this successful or like have had this gift with, for example, the market, right? When you got there in 8 months, did you even struggle at the beginning? Did you had any issues?
Yes. I mean, talking about the Forex market, yes, like in those 8 months, I've passed through, lost a lot of money, you know, like breakthroughs, mental breaks, and like I think that's why I really got it quick, because in a short period of time I went through a lot of things. So that's really what I believe, that I got it quick because of that short period of time. I went through a lot of things in that short period of time. So like for example, there's one day like in there was one day I remember, like in 2 hours, I remember I made like 600 in that day, 2 hours. But I got greedy. My psychology was in there. Nothing was in there. Like my discipline, risk to reward was in there. And you know what? I was like, man, I'm going to bet everything on the next trade. So I just, you know, the lot size was on the roof. The market went not in my direction. Then I blew my account totally blew my account. And that's when I had like my first mental break, like, wow. Like, then, next day, or not even next day, a few hours later, I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna quit until I get that money back. And then I start studying like 10 hours, 8 hours per day, and that was like my day-to-day basis until it clicked. And then a few months later, I was slowly getting it until one day it just clicked, like the aha moment Swaggy talks about. But over that period of time, I still had some breakthroughs, like, oh, why is the market doing this? And or why am I doing this? Why am I reacting this way? And it's mostly I focused, especially after that first breakthrough, I focused especially on psychology and discipline. Discipline is first, like discipline. I really focus on discipline. I was in my mind, it was like, I am not gonna leverage no more. My risk to reward has to be intact. I'm not gonna do all the things that I used to do, and that's where I start, my learning curve really start to push up.
So, okay, wait. When you had that doubt at first, right? Did you ever feel like quitting, or did even family members or friends or some tell you that it wasn't for you or something?
Now, yeah, I was waiting for you to ask something like that. The next day before I blew my account, that same day I woke up, I knew since that day, like I was going to make it, like no matter what. I knew because the way that I reacted to the moment, the way that I reacted. So I knew that, what, just learn, and blessings are gonna come.
So, like, your mentality is crazy. The day, not the day you won a lot of money, but the day you lost a lot of money, you knew you were gonna make
Yeah, exactly.
that.
Yeah. And I haven't won like a lot of money. I haven't at all. Like, I'm still on that learning progress, and I think I'm always going to be on that learning progress.
Bro, that's crazy. Like, damn. Like, you were losing money. You like, how much money? Can I ask how much money you lost?
I lost in that account. I only had like 2,000. I just lost them like in that same in minutes. I lost 2,000 in minutes, and that like for my situation, that was a lot of money. A lot of money.
Bro, so you woke up one day, lost 2K, and was like, yeah, this is it. This is what I'm going to do. This is where I'm going to make a lot of money.
Exactly, because why did that thought came into my mind? Because the because I looked back to the yesterday, and I was like, oh, look how how I react, look how I react, I really want this. And that's where, from there on, like I said, that's where my learning curve is just boomed, just boomed. And that's how I continue. I'm very young, I'm barely starting and have all this knowledge. So I can be one of those great, I believe, one of those who can make history and have their name on those books, the history of trading and investing. That's what I'm aiming for.
100%, bro. Like, that mindset at like 20, like, some people don't even realize that for their whole lives, or like not until they're 40 or 50, right? And you having that at 20, I think, even though I am younger, still younger than you, I think you're still ahead of the game.
No, but like whenever I hear that, about when people say that, I really is just don't believe in that. I really believe in anybody can do it. Anybody, Now, I'm not gonna lie, it's a blessing, a total blessing. God gave me these talents. That is totally, and I am not gonna say like no. That is truly a blessing. And I understand, like, maybe for other people that's gonna not how do you say it, like, motivate them, because, oh no, I don't have the same talents as you. But not really. If you are disciplined and really focused, you're probably gonna get even better than the ones who have talent if you put on the work. And that's the truth. That's the reality for me.
Bro, yeah, that's right. Like,
Yeah.
sometimes, like, even Gary Vee, I think, you know Gary Vee, right? He's like famous for saying, if like a 50-year-old comes up to him, he says you're still a baby, because at any age, if you put in the work, you can get the results.
It's mostly, I will say mostly about the mentality. What like, if you know yourself first, this is a more important thing for me, is knowing yourself first. Because from there on, then you know what to work on. What are your weaknesses, what you have to work, what are your strengths, and that's where really your learning curve just booms. If you know really who you are, but you really have to know who you are.
So you're talking about that learning curve. Was it like a tipping point for you where you realized what was going on and where it became easy? Or was it like a whole process where, like, step by step by step, um, it became clearer and clearer?
At first it was like a boom of knowledge that I got from day to night, like a boom, like wow. And then slowly I just start unlocking those knowledges, by studying, by researching, and also me, personally looking into me, my weaknesses. And like I said, from there is where my learning curve just boomed. And it's still, I mean, I'm very young, and there's a lot of things to learn, like, for everybody. There's a lot of things, a lot of things that everybody should learn. And some people are just not willing to put in the work. And that's where I come from, where it's just the mentality you have, and all that.
Right. So, when you said you think anybody can make it, right? When you was like discovering the markets, or even when you became successful, was there a story that always stuck to your head, that always, like, you always remember when you think about, like, your journey to from growing up to quitting your job?
I get what you mean. uh it's what I always had in mind. It's related to the markets, in my life. It's is just push through, push through. And I always had this in mind, I'm like not, let's say I'm not a religious person, but I just believe in God, that's just who I am. And I always say that things that does not depend on you, leave them to God. But things that depend on you, you have to put in the work.
100%, like putting in the work, you can't like find any shortcuts.
Yeah, and you might heard this, but in a different way, like for example, you cannot control what other people do, so focus on yourself. It's something like that, but you know, I just don't deny the fact that just God gave me this, gift, so that's why I live by that, like whatever is not on my control, I just leave it on God's hands, and whatever is in my control, I have to do what it's on my hands, and work with it.
Yeah, like even on the like more religious or philosophic side, it's even if you don't believe in God, it's like there is a philosophy called Stoicism where it's also like
Oh yeah, I totally yeah, who don't believe in God. I mean, a Stoic, belief, or whatever the Stoics believe, it's really, really great. It all relates though. It's like everything in the world, like I said, has an explanation, and everything harmonized together. And when I start seeing the world that way, everything just started to make sense. If you think about it, like if reading books, and the Bible, and looking at the world, and everything is just, it just relates and makes sense once you like have in mind, like everything in this world harmonized together. It's together. It's a whole, like I make it for people, I say to people, like the Bible, or God's world is just parallel to this world, and it's the same essence. That's like the essence. I'm talking about the essence of the world. It's the essence of the world. It's applied to every sector, to every, you know for anything. The essence, the laws of it just applies to anything you do.
of course, bro. Like I am personally, I am agnostic. Like I don't know if God exists. I really like couldn't find out for myself, but there's always something you can learn from anyone, right? And also like from the religious side, from the philosophical.
Yeah, that's also too one thing. Like never deny, or always be open to opinions. Always, like no matter what, no matter how much you disagree, and deep in your heart and your mind, just you have to really be open for anything, because anything can be a reality. It's like perspective of reality. Everything can be a reality.
And you can find that in like that concept you can find almost anywhere. Like in business, when you like are close-minded, like only this ad campaign works, or in trading only this strategy works.
Yeah, and that's what I say. Like once you understand that, like you, everything starts to make sense, and you like, wow, like the world really harmonizes, together. Everything in this world, like I said, everything is in this world has a purpose. It's just that we don't have a purpose. We make that purpose.
Bro, that's deep. Like, was there, did you realize that when trading, or was there something you learned that you learned for trading that like went on to be a lesson for the rest of your life, like discipline or like that mentality?
I would really say I will say that yes, I learned it from Forex, but Forex helped me a lot to focus, because I was, this lazy dude, like, you know, I was lazy, and neglected a lot of things that I just don't wanted to do, and put, and be disciplined, until, one day is just, I had to change. I have to, I can't be this, this person who I was in the past, when I have to be someone who I really was meant to be, like it's like I'll say to you, hey man, your life is not gonna change from night to day, but you can, you can, you know. Comes it's just blessings, man. Just be prepared and prepare for the blessings. Because if you change your mentality, oh man, I'm telling you, your life is going to change. Just prepare for it. Prepare to receive those, blessings.
Yeah, bro. Like, people, they wait for their life to change, then they change.
I really, I mean, if that happens to people and motivates them, I mean, that's perfect, good. You got something, and like, God just gave it to you like that. But the most of the time, it's not gonna happen. You really have to do something for you, because remember, like I said, everything on this world has a purpose except us. Human beings. That's what differentiates us from anything, any creature, any animal.
Bro, that's like a. I've never really heard someone say it like that, bro. That's like pretty interesting for me. So, I wanna address the topic one time that came to my head. So even though you're still like on the journey to making it, right? Even though you're right now really gifted and successful, you're still on the journey. But did you drop out of school?
I actually, I didn't even finish high school. I was in my last year, then I had some personal problems and I had to drop out. From there on, that's where I, started changing my life little by little, until I went into Forex and realized, who I was capable of turning to. But I really didn't even finish high school. And I always believed that since I was 15, 14 years, I believe that, man, like all that is just a lie. Is all of school and academia. It's good if you want. I'm not against it. It's good because everything that you can learn is always going to be good. But it's really of what is, like I said, what do you really want? And only in knowing what you really want is knowing yourself. So that's where it comes, that that point of view of mine.
There's always those two extremes. Like one, you have to like graduate school, graduate college, university, get a safe job, and then work until you die. Um, or you or there's like the people like you never have to go to school, but I think it's like you you can decide for yourself, right? You can go to school, take home or learn what you really need for your life, and the rest just forget.
Exactly. I mean, it all rounds of knowing who you are. It's incredible, like magic. It all rounds in knowing who you are, and so that's what I always, when, let's say, my cousins talk to me or something, I'll tell them, hey, just focus on yourself. Like, try to discover who you are, because then from there, like, that's the root of the tree of life. I say it like that's the root of a tree of life. So that's that's how I see it. So know who you are, and from there, man, you're gonna grow. You're gonna grow. Like I said, like that. That what I say, like the tree of life. The roots are who you are. Knowing who you are the roots, and from there on, you start growing.
Um, on that growth process, right? Where would you say you are right now? Are you at the beginning, or and you have like major, huge future plans that
Oh, man, I mean, I'm really like, wow, I haven't done nothing. I feel like I haven't done nothing. I'm just barely, like on my first step. That's what I, have in mind. And it's the reality, like for me, and it's just the reality, because the world is limitless, and there's a lot of things that, I see it like, hey, like take this life, everything you can learn, everything. And whenever you die, it's what you get. And that's what's all life is all about, what you can get out of it the most.
like with that market, like that forest thing, are you are you planning on doing that like in the long run, or do you do that maybe to like get some money and like start a business or something? You planning on doing any of that?
uh i'm planning I'm planning to, yeah, to like really invest, like in private equity deals, maybe buy and sell companies. I really like that. Real estate, um a lot of things, but first, obviously, I really have to focus, on what I'm doing first, and then, start learning different sectors or different industries, in which I can expand my knowledge and my talents.
Did you have to, or like right now, or even when you first started out, there's like all those hustle coaches, I think that's what you call them, on the internet. They like tell you you are not allowed to have any personal life. Like you have to focus on this one thing and this one thing only from like the second you wake up to the second you fall asleep. Were like any of them?
This is gonna sound a little contradicting, but it really depends, like what do you want, like I said. So if your goal is just, just to be the best of what you really want, like completely the best, then yeah, you have to dedicate, most part of your life to it, obviously. But I mean, if it's because it's like in life, different how do you say, different stages of your life, that hey, maybe another idea comes into your mind, and maybe you want something different, or like, oh, you know what, I just want a family, this is enough for me, and it's, for example, if a man knows, how much is enough for him, like only greed can change his mind, only greed can change him. But it just depends on, yeah, what you really want. So
You know, traveling is traveling on your bucket list. Do you want to travel or like stay at home?
in my mind, traveling, like the world is a book, and like there's a quote, I don't know, I don't remember whoever said this quote, but the quote that I have always have in mind is, traveling is like a book, and we just settle in one place, only read one page, you know
Yo,
travel around the world. Learn about it, like I said, everything
bro,
everything everything is harmonized together. So yes, like get all the knowledge, die with it, or fulfills the heart and the mind, of us, the beings, and what makes us happy, according, to what we want, obviously, because every one of each is unique, one different things.
things with you like any question I ask, you always have like a deep quote to it. Like you read a lot.
I do read, let's say not a lot, but I do read, and I have to, I have to read. I hate reading. I'm gonna say it. I hate reading, but I know I have to read. So I read, and when I read, I just, try. I get focused on the words, and that's where I just, get locked in, and really like start to enjoying reading when I'm locked in. But it has to be like a really interesting book. But if not, I just, try to remember everything I can.
Bro, is there a book you would recommend? Like not only for trails, but like the whole life is. Do you have a favorite book?
I do have a favorite book. It's called Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. That book is amazing. It changed my perspective. It's a really good book. I really recommend it for everybody.
Let me write that down, bro. I was like looking, outweighing the devil.
Outwitting the Devil. Let me
Devil, Napoleon Hill.
Napoleon Hill.
Okay. Is there something you want to share? Is there something you feel like everyone should know, everyone should learn?
Uh, Everyone should know. Like I said, if you're like, I can relate to the young people. Like for example, you and me, and young people. Or in general, people like really are not, are disconnected with life in the world. Just focus on yourself. Look deep into your heart and your mind, and like let the ego get away. Like there's another book, it's called, Ego is the Enemy. It's a good book too. Like I and let ego, your just learn who you are, like what motivates you, and just go ahead, even if it's bad, just go ahead and just be who you are, or who you really want to be. If you truly want to be, happy, I think that's where the source of happiness is.
The source of happiness. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Like being who you are, like that's for real. That's for real. I think
Like I said, everyone is unique. Everybody is unique, and maybe other people, are not gonna have, as high goals, or as high, standards of life or whatever. But focus on really what you really want. Like what is enough for you, know what is enough for you. Like I said, only if a man knows, how much is enough for them, only greed can change him. So yeah, like just know where you want to go, or know your one limit. Like I don't like using the word limit, because for me, like, there's no limits. For me, there's no limits. But find a place in life where you're gonna be happy. Like, oh, you know what, I'm gonna be happy here, or having this. And now that is in perspective of gold wise. In life, I really believe people have everything to be happy right now. Everybody in this world is breathing the same air. So everybody has everything already. People don't realize it. Even because I've been there where you have no clothes. I remember when I was little, I don't have even I was walking in the street with just short, no socks, no nothing, no shirt, no underwear. I was just on the short. I remember texting you, hey, I was living in the hill in Mexico. But God bless, we had food, we had a roof. So that's everything. Like, hey, if you got food, you got health, you got someone who loves you, you got everything, man. You are already rich. You are already rich. Just prepare, focus for more blessings, more blessings. That's how I see it.
I think also like coming from a place where you have almost nothing teaches you like how grateful you have to be and how
Exactly. Yes, that for me, that's a fact. Like, hey, you gotta suffer at least a little bit, to realize, something has to touch your heart, really. Something that has to happen to you. And it's just like they say, the essence of the world. Hey, something bad has to happen so good can, appear. It is. So it makes sense once, it just makes sense whenever you start seeing things that way, maybe. But everything has a different perspective. It's whatever makes sense to you and how you really want it, to be.
there was this guy, I heard him like give a speech, and he said there is not a single person he has met who became successful who did not suffer.
Yeah, because yeah, like I said, something bad has to happen. Like, something bad has to touch your heart, and from there, that you're gonna realize, like, from with one part, like, who you are. Like, oh, look, oh, this happened to me, and this is how I react. Wow, I have a weak mentality. Gotta work on my mentality. Oh, you know what? Like, for example, I suffer from a heartbreak, and I have all these thoughts of negative thoughts. Oh, you know what? Love, it's, I have to, you know, focus on my love, like that, just grow from it.
Yeah, right. Like you can't like even comprehend how great something is if you don't know like the dark side. If you don't know how bad it could be.
Yeah, like, and all relates, of, like I said, who you really, what perspective you have, because the eyes only reflect what's inside your head and your heart. So you see the world depending on what's inside of this and what's inside of your heart, really. So your eyes just, and the world just projected, because that's how you see the world, but it might be not the reality.
Right? Like there was a quote, bro. I always hear those quotes, but I never know like who said them. Um, I think it was. I'm paraphrasing here, but I think it was like the people around you are just mirrors of yourself. It
Yeah,
just it
yeah,
all comes from inside.
yeah. And once you start realizing things, then you really start seeing what the truth is, who you really love, or who loves you, who are really your friends, who really supports you, who's been there, who's not, and it's just, change of perspective, I would say.
Yeah, yeah. So to top it all off,
I like your hoodie that says change. That's where it comes. Change. Yeah. That's where everything comes.
of course, bro.
Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So to top it all off, right? The viewers, if they want to connect with you, if they want to find you, you have an IG. You have something with
Yeah, of course. It's JH_C Casanova.
Mhm.
I'm gonna go ahead and write it down on the chat.
Mhm.
It's JH underscore Casanova. And right there.
All right.
Yeah. Let me see if there's a 32. Oh no, it's just that. Yeah. 2 C's at the beginning. Casanova, JH.
Mhm. Y'all will see this in the description, you know. Of course, like, thank you, JC, for
No, thank you, man. Thank you for this.
here, for sharing your knowledge. Like, you're 20, you have a lot of knowledge, you have a lot of like wisdom.
Oh, thank you, man. Thank you. But I'm here to share it. That's what it's all about, sharing.
Bro, I feel like you're gonna be like a grandpa who'll tell like lots of stories, right? You'll be a great
Probably, yeah.
grandparent.
Yeah, probably. More possibilities are there, yeah.
And thank you to the viewers for listening this episode of Beyond Success, bro. Tune in for the next episode, for the next guest. Thank you.